you know, I became a bit reclusive, to be quite
Yeah,
frank.
why?
I lost confidence, I think. That's what it was.
Did you get death threats?
Yeah, he used to phone me up and say, you're dead or something like that. One of them makes £1 million a year and employs 32 people. You know, they've changed their lives.
Oh, I've waited a long time for this.
Yes.
You nervous?
No, with you? No, not at all.
Really?
Oh, can I just say something before we start? OK, this is pulling the rug from under his feet now. Yes, I've had my eyes done. I had a cosmetic surgery. I did it for vanity. End of. OK? So you've had that one.
Did you get your money back for the surgery? Because it clearly didn't
No,
work.
not at all.
It clearly failed.
No, they'd done it for nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious.
I mean, it's the same as why you had your teeth done.
No.
It is.
No,
Your
no.
hamsters are false, son.
No, they're not
Yes, they
false.
are. They
They're
are.
not.
Oh, rubbish.
This is your life, right? I mean, your entire life. First of all, what do I call you?
Oh, well, you see, my friends call me Alan.
Right.
You can call me Lord Sugar.
You can be called lots of things. Alan.
All right,
Sir Alan.
You can call me Alan.
Lord Sugar.
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm still Sir Alan.
You have another title. It's Baron Sugar of Clapton.
And that's the same thing. A peer is a baron, yeah.
Right, so you're both. You didn't need to put of Clapton in there, but because you were the first Lord Sugar, but you wanted to. Why?
Yeah. Basically, the reason why most of the peers are called, you know, Lord Smith of Harrogate or whatever is because there are more Smiths. So I'm the first Sugar, and you literally don't have to give yourself a name. But I wanted to because that's where I came from.
Is it a bit incongruous that you are called Sugar at all, given how unsweet you are?
I think what happened was when my great-grandfather came into the country from wherever they came from, and I think they turned up at the immigration counter and they said, what's your name? The guy couldn't speak English and he was going, oh, Zuckerman, Zuckerman, Zuckerman. He said to him, all right, Sugar, go on, off you go. And that's how we got the name.
Your wife, Anne, is here today, the most long-suffering spouse possibly in the history of planet Earth. I don't think I exaggerate things. Can you remember how you once signed an anniversary card to her?
Yeah, I signed it Alan Sugar. Well, she's got a short memory sometimes about me. So just let her know it was Alan, you know.
Do you want to finally apologise in public for that?
Oh, I've paid for it badly. I have paid over the years for it, oh boy.
When you think about your life, it is an extraordinary life. You came from nothing and you worked your way to becoming a knight of the realm, a peer of the realm, a self-made billionaire. How do you sum up your life?
Well, it's been very exciting. I started, as everybody knows, famously out the back of a little minivan. Didn't want to work for anybody, just wanted to work for myself, be my own boss. And the rest is history. I mean, the thing that most people don't know is that my uncle died and left me £50 million. That's not true, that's not true.
Lord Sugar, let's take a look back at your extraordinary rise from rags to riches. That moment when you first became a millionaire. 1980, Amstrad floated, and you got a cheque for $2 million. You were a millionaire.
Yeah.
What did your family make of your success?
They were very, very proud, of course. And I think my father had started to realise by then that I wasn't just a fly-by-night chancer. He had a very tough life. He was in an era which most young people of today wouldn't understand. He would have to phone Friday night to see whether there was any work for him on Monday. So very, very cautious.
So that moment you became a millionaire, did he grudgingly admit?
No, he got it then. Yeah, he got it. Oh, I think you've done all right. Yeah, I think you've done all right. Yeah, he got it then.
How rich are you now?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You know to the nearest pound.
No, I don't. It varies.
What's the most you could write a cheque for?
Oh, quite a lot of money.
Like what?
I don't know. I'm not going to... I'm not
100 million?
I'm going to be easy, but I'm not going to be...
200 million?
Well, not that. No, because you wouldn't...
150?
You'd be a bad businessman to have 200 million sitting around in the bank.
You do 150?
If I had a push, I suppose, yeah.
For a guy who came from nothing, to be able to write a cheque for 150 million quid, how does that make you feel?
I've passed that stage, mate. Really? I've really passed that stage.
The last Sunday Times rich list had you at 1.22 billion.
Right.
That was 90 million down.
Yeah.
On the previous year.
I know, it's
it
terrible.
looks like you're losing your touch.
It's terrible, isn't it? I know. I mean, when's the last time you lost 90 million?
Do you think you're a man of the people?
I hope so. I would hope so. I think I'm an ordinary...
Touch with ordinary
I'm an
people's
ordinary
lives?
bloke.
How much is a pint of milk, then?
I don't know, 15p or something like that. How much is it? I don't know.
Its average price is 50 pence. What's the loaf of bread?
That could be a quid.
£1.10.
No, not bad.
A 4-pack of toilet roll?
How would I know?
Because you use it, like everybody else.
You use it because you talk a load of crap. That's it.
Lord Sugar, you've had a lot of praise in your career for the great achievements, quite rightly. You've also had some people sceptical about the scale of your achievements. I want to play you a clip from one sceptic. Your old sparring partner, Lord Sugar, he thinks he can write a bigger cheque than you.
Yeah, no, he's a small-timer. Don't forget, Sugar works for me. Every time he makes money, he
Because
pays
you
it
own
to
part
me.
of the format of The Apprentice.
When we first chose him, he was so low on the economic scale that he didn't really fit the role very well.
That's the scumbag.
I mean, they're not my words. It's the words of the President of the United States.
I know. And was he slightly encouraged by you?
Not at all.
No, I think he was, yeah.
Well, let's go back to when you had literally no money. You were born Alan Michael Sugar in Clapton, London in 1947. Your parents were Faye and Nathan, who worked as a tailor at the time. You have 3 older siblings.
There was a 12-year gap between me and my brother and sisters. I was a post-war mistake.
Oh, I realise that.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about your parents and your relationship with them, that both obviously hard-working, working-class people, that it was quite a cold, sort of slightly unemotional atmosphere as you grew up. Is that fair?
Well, they had a very, very, very tough life. And it was hard for them to be warm and caring, although they were obviously caring, but...
Did they ever tell you they loved you?
I don't know, really. Maybe, most probably, yeah. Of course, she must have done, yeah.
You don't remember?
No, not really, no. I don't remember it. Is this the time to bring out the onion juice? Carry on.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Actually, that's working really well.
Carry on.
Just look at me seriously.
Yeah.
It looks like you're crying. It's great.
Carry on.
We'll cut that bit. I'll just keep the tears.
Yeah.
It's fine. You had like a period when you went into your shell when you were young. You sort of became a bit of a hermit.
You know, I became a bit reclusive, to be quite
Yeah,
frank.
why?
I had a friend, and we went together in some, socially, to the social clubs and all that. And and then for some reason or other, they blew me out. I don't know why. So I lost confidence, I think. That's what it was. My mother and father and my sisters were trying to find me friends, which is the worst thing you can do. That is the worst thing. This is a very nice chap. You want to meet him? He's a very, very nice boy. He's the same age as you. Sod off.
How did it end, your reclusive period?
My sister-in-law's brother kind of dragged me by the scruff of the neck to a local club where I met all my other friends. And we've been friends now.
Steve and Sandra, Malcolm and Maureen.
Yeah.
They're here tonight.
Jeff, yeah.
In the audience.
Jeff, yeah.
Incredibly, they've actually stayed friends with you.
I know, and he still owes me half a crown.
When you sorted out your first kind of business, who was your first employee?
My dad.
He was working in a factory.
He was. I said to him, Dad, come work for me. I said, because I needed someone to answer the phone, take some parcels in.
Was he reluctant?
No, he was reluctant in the beginning. And I said to him, look, don't worry about it. What are you earning at the moment? I think he was earning 20 quid. I said, easy, no problem. That's like a quarter of a day's work for me. We opened our first factory in just Great Sutton Street, and we built production line to work in there. I now own that building. I bought it
Really?
for sentimental reasons last year, yeah. The whole building, yeah.
After 50 years, you've had business highs and lows. I remember that court case, and I was editor of the Daily Mirror. Obviously, it was a rival paper that you were engaged with. You said in your book, I must have been at one of the lowest ebbs of my life. I burst out sobbing. I've never cried like that before, not since I was a kid. I imagine it must have looked like I was having a nervous breakdown. I mean, for everyone that knew you, when I heard about it, I was shocked. Obviously, your family was shocked. They hadn't seen you like it. What do you think it was that triggered?
It wasn't, I think, a mini nervous breakdown. The case went on. It took 18 months to get to court, and it was a strain, a stress, because every time I turned up at the courtroom, there was hundreds of people there screaming and shouting, and it was a stress, it was a strain. So I think what happened was this all kind of blew up and burst. I was sitting in the courtroom, Nick was there, Anne was there, Alan Watts there with my lawyer, and I think they were shocked. They were so shocked they couldn't believe it, because suddenly I burst out crying and I couldn't stop.
How did you first meet Anne?
Through the friends, through Sandra. She was working with her in a hairdressing shop in Liverpool Street, which, funny enough, I bought that building also.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you bought every building you've ever had any association?
No.
Where did you first see Anne?
Steve was my friend, and we all went to a party somewhere. We joke as the fatal party, because that's when Steve first met Sandra. She said to Anne, who she was working with, "Will you come out on a foursome? I've got someone for you, very nice chap." That was me. So that was it.
Love at first sight?
I wouldn't say that, really. No, I think there was... I think it was just, young people going out together, really, and then it just grows afterwards, doesn't it?
Anne's parents weren't exactly over the moon at her acquisition.
Look, her father once explained to me afterwards, "You wait till you've got a daughter," he said, because everybody wants the best for their daughter. She brings me home, this kind of rough diamond from Hackney. It's not exactly what you would wish for your daughter, I suppose. So in hindsight, I could understand why I wasn't perhaps flavour of the month initially.
After 6 months, you got a Dear Alan letter from Anne.
Yeah, I used to meet her every Thursday. And then one day she just came down the stairs and opened the door and gave me a letter which said, "I've got to call it off."
How did you feel?
Not great. It wasn't a good moment because it was quite rather a bit of a shock, I suppose.
Did you cry again?
No.
You did?
No.
You said in your book you cried.
No, I don't think so.
What's in your own book?
Yeah, well, I think I made it up. I made it up for drama, like you make up.
You invented a story in your own autobiography.
Well,
I thought you were this great pillar of honesty.
Yeah.
Straight talking.
Yeah, when it suits me. Yeah.
Huh? Did you or did you not cry?
One thing I can tell you, I ain't crying here tonight, that's for sure.
Well,
Forget about
sounds like it'll be the only time you haven't. How did you get Anne back?
I'd resigned myself to that was it. She called it a day. And I think we went out one night to a nightclub, somewhere it was, and then she came over to me and said, I didn't mean it, and that was it. It was clear that we were going to be together. She was my, my partner, my soul partner. That's what she was going to be. That's what she was. And very romantically, going over Stratford flyover in my minivan, I said, "Well, I think we best get married." And that's true.
Did Anne hesitate, or did she immediately
She
say...
went, "No, that's not... I suppose it's a good idea." She said, "Yes, OK."
It doesn't sound massively romantic.
Well, I'm not a romantic. What can I say?
Are you at all?
No.
Is he romantic, Anne? He's not, is he? I mean, not at all.
Not at all.
Do you ever say, "I love you"?
Yes.
You do?
Of course.
So that's romantic.
OK, well, fair enough.
Why are you so worried about being seen as
I'm not
romantic?
worried about it. You seem to be obsessed with it. It's not me.
I'm not a normal bloke.
You're obsessed in trying to make me look stupid.
No, I'm not.
You are.
I'm not.
And you're not succeeding. You're definitely not.
That'll be for the viewers to decide.
Well, the audience is already, you can tell from their laughter. You can already tell that you're dead in the water, son.
Your wedding day?
Yes. Well, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. She's not a demanding lady and is only interested in everybody's health, welfare, and everybody's happy. And that's why we've been married for 51 years. Yeah.
As a father, were you at the births of your kids?
I was not at the birth of Simon, the eldest.
Where were you?
Playing tennis. And I must admit, I was not the modern-day father that...
How many nappies have you changed in your life?
Maybe 2 or 3, maybe.
2 or 3? You're 3 kids, so not even 1 each.
No, I mean, by the time we were on to the 3rd one, I don't think even Anne changed the nappy. we had...
She's shaking her head furiously.
We had help.
How dare you? How dare you?
We had help by then.
You probably weren't around very much when they were young, and I know for you probably would admit that and think it was a regret, perhaps?
Compared to modern-day father, yeah. I mean, I was out working and not get home till 8 o'clock at night. Thing is that we are very normal people. We kept the children grounded, and that's why they're nice people. That's an achievement. That's bigger than making other hundreds of millions or whatever you want to talk about.
You were chairman of Tottenham Hotspur between 1991 and 2001. I mean, looking at it from the outside, that must have been probably the least enjoyable thing you've ever done.
Yes, it wasn't a great era. It was 10 years of purgatory, I suppose.
For your family, very clearly, they came under a lot of abuse, horrible at the stadium. Outside your house, there were protests, people screaming abuse at your wife, your kids, and so on. No one should have to put up with that. But what was it like for you to be sort of slightly powerless about what was going on?
Well, it was an untenable situation. It wasn't nice.
Did you get death threats?
Yeah, he used to phone me up and say, you're dead or something like that.
Rupert Murdoch, very unusually, gave an interview for this. It was a great tribute to you. How did you get to know him?
He said, I want to start a satellite TV business. So I said, yeah, sounds great to me, great. And I went and spoke to my engineers then. We said, look, what is this dish? He got me hold of a dish. I said to him, it's like a dustbin lid to me. Go to dustbin lid manufacturer. I'm telling him this is the truth. Go to them and they'll bash them out for you. So we did. We found somebody to make these things for £1 each. The actual dish. £1 each. Honestly, I swear to God. And now, Christopher Wren will be known for building, what do you call it?
St Paul's Cathedral.
St Paul's Cathedral. I will be remembered for white dishes on council flats.
You've admitted that you're a grumpy, short-tempered and impatient man. I would say that is an understatement. Why are you like that all the time?
Well, I've got no patience, really. Even now, with you. Getting on my bloody wick, you are.
But even preparing for this interview was an ordeal for all of us.
Yeah.
You just don't stop trying to control everything. I mean, everything about dealing with you is a nightmare.
You should think of the bad things about me.
Got a few comments from people about you. Nick Hewer, when I first met Alan, he just grunted at me. The guy next to me said, wow, some guys wait 18 months for a grunt. Your own daughter, Louise, says when he walks into any room, there's a terror. People he's been working with for 20, 30 years. Still a sense of sit up. He's coming in.
I sound like Kim Jong-un. I thought I'd get my hair cut like him, actually.
But is it all a bit of a gruff? I mean, I've known you a long time. Underneath all this gruff, bluster, tough guy, you're a little pussycat, really, aren't you?
Absolutely. Soft, easygoing fellow, yeah.
Your reputation for being tough, gruff and difficult took you from the boardroom into our living rooms as a TV star. The Apprentice, becoming a TV star. Were you reticent about it, or were you eager to try?
I thought it was so challenging. It was so exciting. I really wanted to do it. I'm so pleased I did.
How much of what we see on the show is you?
All of it. I mean, you know, if you can imagine... I mean, you were there. You sat there.
I thought you were just as repellent there as you were in real life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there you've answered your own bloody question, haven't you? So, you know, there's no scripting to this thing. And that's how it is in the real life. I ask them questions and they answer me.
Some people think you just got a bunch of half-wits who come on, make fools of themselves.
Well, it was like that when you were on, yeah.
Most of them get fired. Well, I went on to win the American one, which is not a bigger deal.
I coached you.
And I was chosen as a winner by the President of the United States.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
The proof of the pudding is in the winners. They are making loads of money. They are running businesses. One of them makes £1 million a year and employs 32 people. Another one makes about £250,000 a year and is opening her third salon. Another one is running a recruitment organisation. So, you know, they've changed their lives.
Your father worked for you at Amsterdam for many years, and then, gloriously, he was able to walk away and retire. That must have been quite a moment for you, that your dad was able to retire with all the money.
He put his money into some of the shares when we went public, and after about a couple of weeks, the shares like doubled. He said, oh, well, I like this game. So, yeah, he done all right.
In the early 90s, you paid for your mother, Faye, to go into a care home. And you've talked about that, about having mixed feelings about whether you were around enough for her in the latter part of her life.
Yeah, I mean, you're selfish, you know, you can get a bit selfish. I felt a bit guilty, I suppose. In the 80s, I'm busy running around, and 90s running around, and perhaps didn't give them as much attention I should have, yeah.
Your mum died in 1994. You went to see her just before she died. What was that moment?
No, it was terrible. I think it's fair to say that she'd had a stroke. And when we went to see her in the home, I know I'm sounding like a broken record here. I built that home. I did. I built the home for the charity. And to go and watch her being fed by one of the carers there, and she wasn't really eating, she couldn't chew, and it was terrible to watch it. And then she just slid kind of downhill. My last words to her, I went to see her and she was laying in a bed, and my sister had said to me, she doesn't know, she's lost it, she just doesn't know who's coming to see her. And I went in there, and it's a sense of humour she had. And I said, Mum, it's me. Mum, it's me, it's Alan. Mum, it's me. She said, I know it's you. Who do you think you are, Lord Rothermere? And that was her last words to me, yeah. So she was there, she was listening, but she was gone. And then, unfortunately, she died.
What do you feel you owe your parents?
Well, they brought me into the world. I might have been a mistake one Saturday night after the war. I must have been the greatest mistake they've ever made.
It was a wonderful moment when you became a lord, when you walked in, and one of the first people you saw was your father-in-law.
He went, good luck, as I walked past him to go in to the from the robing ceremony into the chamber. Yeah.
And you got quite choked up by it.
I did?
At the time.
I see, OK.
Well, you said you did. I don't know what to believe anymore about you and your serial crying. How did you feel about all the controversy of you becoming a lord?
Well, again, that was a shock. I thought, oh, what a great honour to be a lord, and then the shit at the fan afterwards. Part of the BBC's remit is that nobody can be a politician or a minister. There was not becoming a minister. And Gordon Brown at the time said, no, we're going to call him a czar, right? So I'm not communist either. So I became a czar.
The only person who may persuade you to retire would be Anne. Do you think she'd ever want you full-time?
No. Get under her feet. No, not really. No, she knows I've got to be busy. I have to be busy doing something.
They say behind every great man is a greater woman.
Yes, I agree.
With Anne sitting here and the nation watching,
yes.
Would you like to say anything to her?
Not really, but you've got
You might like to thank her.
What have we got for dinner tonight?
Well, Lord Sugar, I wish I could say it's been a pleasure, but it hasn't really. But you began life as a mistake. You've led your life as a mistake.
This is a bleep mistake coming here.
Oh, sugar.